large defensive core because of injuries, and this is one guy who needs some experience before they hit the playoffs.
Understand that Mike Rupp now with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Our buddy joins us. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well.
Is that the goal scorer, Mike Rupp?
I don't know about that.
Oh, come on. Now, Kevin Weeks said you were a big goal scorer during junior hockey.
Yeah, I mean, we all scored goals back in the day, didn't we?
I tell you what, though, in all seriousness, Mike, I mean, you're enjoying your best season so far. I mean, every time we talk with you, the goal total's going up and up and up, and I know you're having a ball playing for the Pittsburgh Penguins, the top team in the National Hockey League right now. Tell us about how much fun it really is for you these days.
No, it's going good. You know, my teammates, the style that we play here, the coaching staff, everyone's we're all pulling in the same direction. And in the games, I'm getting the puck and I'm just shooting it. And it's fortunately going in the net for me. So we're going to keep continuing to shoot the puck, and our team's going to continue having fun and moving forward.
You talk a bit about Dan Bylsma and the difference he made, obviously, last year. You're on board this year. But just on a daily basis, one of the most positive guys I've ever met. And at the NHL level with coaches, you have to be an authoritarian. You have to know who's in charge. And it's an interesting mix with Dan Bylsma. He has that, yet he seems to be an even more player's coach than a lot of guys. How would you describe him?
I would say that. I think that Dan is a coach that I know the guys would, all of us would go through a wall for him, and it's something I think that is evident on the ice, and the way we play, and we never give up in the course of the game. And I think it's the respect that he shows us as players, and but at the same time, there's definitely he holds the authority, and we understand that. So sometimes you hear about. There's either like two types of coaches: your disciplinarian, who guys don't really care for, or it's a player's coach who sometimes people view as being too lax. And that's not the situation. Like, he's a great mix of both, and it's, again, we want to play for Dan, and at the same time, we understand when something's said, and when he kind of speaks up, that we all listen, and I think it's a great mix that we have.
Mike, the home and home with Philadelphia, in the first game at the Igloo, it got rough and tumble, and I guess you expected kind of much more of the same last night, and so you had a dance partner once again.
Yeah, it was, it's one of those games. We had a home and home with the Rangers earlier in the year, and I think divisional games are, you stress the, especially when you have a home and home against the teams. You want to win all those division games, and you want to kind of set the standard. And I think that both teams going into that first game at Mellon Arena wanted to let each other know that it's going to be a tough couple games, and I know that's our mindset, and I'm assuming that that's their mindset too, and that happened. And we were happy with getting out of those two games with 4 points. That's big for us, and we're just going to keep moving forward. Those are always fun games against Philadelphia Flyers. I've known of the rivalry with the Penguins before I came here, and being a part of it now I like it. It's something special.
Yeah, we were talking about it the other night, saying it was the Pennsylvania Polka. I think you had 3 fights in the first couple of minutes, and then everything settled down. And you started to play hockey. A year ago, the Pittsburgh Penguins didn't win the division. You guys are now heading into action on Friday, number 1 overall in the NHL. How important is it, or do you even talk about where you finish this season, whether it's number 1 in the division or number 1 in the league?
Well, I think it's just it's all about how you're playing at a particular time in the year, and I think that the Penguin team of last year is a perfect example of that. The only way I think to do that is to always try to be on top of your game, which obviously there's times in the season where you're going to go through some times where you're going to deal with some adversity, and we felt like we've done that, and we responded well through that. And so right now we're just taking short little segments of games and trying to get those wins and play the way we need to play. And I think that Dan Bylsma also brings a great view to each game to us. He even stresses to us that as long as we're playing the style that we want to bring every night, we almost don't. I mean, you care if you win or lose, but we're not worried about the end result. We're worried about how we're going to play over the course of 60 minutes. And when we do that, the results are usually there for us. And I think that that's the mindset that we have, and we're going to continue to move forward doing. And then, where you finish, we want to win every hockey game. So, but you can't look ahead that far. And right now, we're just trying to put together 60 minutes each night.
Mike, the big news of today, I'm not sure if you've heard, but the Minnesota Wild's equipment bus was on fire in the Scotiabank Place parking lot in Ottawa. So the Minnesota Wild have apparently had their equipment burned today just outside of the arena.
Or you ask him where he was this afternoon?
No, I'm not
okay.
saying Mike's a suspect here. All I'm going to ask you, though, Mike, is, players and their equipment, it's a real special relationship. You break that equipment in, you've got equipment that you're used to wearing. If they gave you a whole new set of equipment and said, go out there and play tomorrow night, what would that be like? That's a horror show for players on the Minnesota Wild, right?
Yeah, there's some players I know Brent Johnson uses the same chest protector, I think he said, since he was in Pee-wees. So he would be that's a life-changing moment right there. So thankfully no one was hurt in that situation, but there's going to be definitely some superstitions and some things that are going to be altered.
I think we look at tomorrow night's game, and right now, Dan, I've got to say I like the Ottawa Senators to beat Minnesota. I'm going on record as saying that.
I think
everybody's wearing new equipment. They're not comfortable at all.
Go to the left, go to the right. Doesn't matter. They can't move. The equipment's still too stiff. You guys went through a lot of injuries and managed to make it through. What was said at that time? Because every time I looked around, there was one of your defensemen dropping.
Yeah, it seemed like every game we were losing a player, and it was a trying time for us. I think that we worked through it, and it made us stronger. We understood the kind of game that we needed to play. When certain guys, we had a lot of skill out of the lineup, so we had to maybe do the simple things and the things that are just to keep the game simple and try to tighten up defensively, because we had some offensive guys out of the lineup, so we weren't going to be able to score 6 goals a night and be able to do things like that. So it's something that you got to go through. Every team does. There's a lot of teams that were banged up early in the season, and it's something that we all go through. And when we're healthy now, and hoping to stay healthy, and hopefully you're stronger from that.
Mike, are you going to be able to catch any of these Carrie Underwood holiday specials in your travels?
I don't know. I wasn't even aware of them, to be honest with you.
Well, Mike's a big country music fan, Dan, so we just
nothing
wanted to
wrong
see.
with that.
I think Carrie Underwood, and I guess Mike Fisher's happy about this, or maybe not happy about it, because maybe he doesn't see Carrie as much, but she's got 3 holiday specials, Mike, which I think might be a holiday record for Christmas specials.
Wow.
So
yeah, I am a big country music fan, so maybe I'll tune in.
You're on top of the stuff.
No, I'm saying I'm just speaking Mike's language, no question.
I love country music. I worked in country music at one point.
My condolences to you, Dan. Anyhow, Mike, thank you very much for your time. Keep up the good work. We always enjoy catching up with you.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Mike. I'll give him a shot, by the way, about the country music.
Mike Rupp from the
Nothing wrong
Pittsburgh
with
Penguins.
country. It's real life. That's what's written about. That's country music.
Yeah.
Got to think of it that way.
Every Senators game these days, we see highlights of Carrie Underwood. So these must have been taped holiday specials, I have to assume.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
So
the
she's
fake
able
snow.
to get out to Senators games.
Fake snow.
And Mike's got to be careful. You can't be talking about somebody else's lady. Mike's a married man anyhow.
Mike's on the phone right now going to the equipment managers. My equipment okay?
Back after this with Dave Maloney. Stay with us.